Amazing archaeological discovery. Ancient chewing gum holds clues to life of a young girl who lived 5,700 years ago. Meet Lola, a young girl who lived in Denmark 5,700 years ago, and her last meal included hazelnuts and even mallard duck. This is by Manuel Garcia Aguilar on The Mind Unleashed. The images are from Tom Björklund. We always like to learn more about our ancestors, what they used to eat, how they looked, where they lived, and even some funny or random facts that may help us create a clear image in our heads. Usually for this kind of information we have to rely on stories told by our grandparents, or if we were even luckier we can use some genealogical book that has our last name in it. But in this case, scientists managed to decipher an entire genome of a person who lived 5,700 years ago by using birch pitch, a chomped-on piece of resin that used to function like ancient chewing gum. The gum was found while excavating an early Neolithic site in southern Denmark. Archaeologists came across this ancient chewing piece of birch pitch covered in well-defined human bite marks, suggesting it had been chewed like gum. This substance was widely used as an adhesive and a disinfectant as well. Despite the fact that this piece is from more than 5,000 years ago, it was really well preserved, allowing for the team of bioarchaeologists from the University of Copenhagen to extract ancient DNA and sequence the entire genome of the person who once chewed it. These findings were published in the journal Nature Communications. Quote, "It's amazing to have gotten a complete ancient human genome from anything other than bone." This is what the lead author, Hannes Schroeder, associate professor from Globe Institute at the University of Copenhagen, said in his statement. The person was biologically female and was genetically more closely related to hunter-gatherers from mainland Europe than to those who lived in central Scandinavia at the time. Scientists also managed to find information on plants and animals whose DNA was also found in it. We can now meet Lola, the young girl who lived in Denmark 5,700 years ago. Lola had blue eyes, dark skin, and dark hair. Her last meal included hazelnuts and mallard duck. We also have some insight into the different bacteria and viruses Lola dealt with, which were most likely from her oral microbiota. Our ancestors lived in different environment and had a different lifestyle and diet, and it is therefore interesting to find out how this is reflected in their microbiome, said Schroeder. What is more, we also retrieve DNA from oral microbes and several important human pathogens, which makes it a very valuable source of ancient DNA, especially for time periods where we have no human remains. Lola was lactose intolerant, which aligns with the idea that adults evolved the tolerance after dairy farming spread during the Neolithic Revolution. The study started with 8 birch bark pitch mastic pieces for analysis. After the first screening, the scientists continued working with 3 of the samples, and after that the samples were processed in the clean room facilities of the Archaeological Research Laboratory at Stockholm University, facilities that are reserved for the ancient DNA work. Schroeder said, "It can help us understand how pathogens have evolved and spread over time, what makes them particularly virulent in a given environment. At the same time, it may help predict how a pathogen will behave in the future and how it might be contained or even eradicated." If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.